Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel again. Today I'm actually very excited to try this recipe that I learned on TikTok, which is an app that I'm just starting to get more into. I realize I'm like a bit out of the age range for that, but I mean they have a lot of like good content on there, especially cooking content. And actually my friend introduced this to me and sent this video and I was like, oh my god, this looks really good. So it's miso carbonara pasta. So I think Chrissy Teigen probably, like, I wouldn't say she invented it, but she probably brought it to mainstream attention, the concept of mixing miso with like carbonara pasta. Then this guy, I'll like link his video, but he did it so well and I was very impressed and also very intrigued, and I also wanted to try it on my own. He has the recipe on his Instagram page, but I was like, you know what, let me just go in blind and like go in based on what I saw in the video instead of getting too specific. Ooh, I do want to introduce something. So one of my friends and colleagues from work, Basma, got me one of these bench scrapers, and I've always wanted one, but I never really had a good use for it, you know, besides baking or making homemade pasta where you can like section the dough off pretty well. But now that I have it, I'm pretty much going to use it for everything. Maybe not today, because there's not really much scraping or sectioning off for it today. But in other videos, I'll probably use it, so thank you, I appreciate it. Alright. That being said, let's jump right into it. I think the first thing that needs to be done is marinating the pork. So in the video, there was the carbonara pasta, there was the mushroom onion mixture stir-fry situation, and then there was also miso marinated pork. So I couldn't really tell what kind of cut of pork this person had, so I just got center cut pork chops. And this is totally like amenable. I feel like if you want to use any other protein like shrimp or chicken, it'll still work perfectly fine. Or if you don't want to put this, there's already mushrooms in there, so this is very extra. So I'm gonna slice it diagonally just to get a larger surface area out of it. So the next step is to make the marinade, and it's pretty simple. I think all the guy did was to just smear some miso on it, but I don't think I like that too much because miso is very flavorful but also a little salty, and I didn't like the intensity of it, so I think I'm gonna mix some miso with like maple syrup just to thin it out and also to make it a little sweet. Also the sugar will caramelize when you raise it on the pan. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so now that the pork is done, I will move on to the mushrooms and the onion mixture. So for this, I think I'm gonna need like an onion, sweet, white, yellow onion, maybe not red, because red onions are a bit too pungent, so you don't overpower the actual dish. So you just basically dice an onion. Onion's done. Let's move on to the mushrooms. So he used oyster mushrooms, which are so interesting, and I really love oyster mushrooms, but they did not. I went to two different grocery stores today, and neither of them had oyster mushrooms, and so I'm just gonna use portobello. And how I'm gonna prepare them is I'm just gonna slice them into like thick chunks. What will hopefully happen is when I sear them on the pan, it gets nice and brown, and then you mix it with the onion mixture, and it'll be really good. Okay, so one portobello mushroom. I think that's it. That can't be right. Yeah, that's right. You also need garlic. You can mince your own garlic, or you can just use already minced garlic. I'm gonna use white wine. I think this is absolutely optional, but I think the wine will intensify the flavor a bit, so I'm not gonna use a lot of it. The only other thing that I would need to prepare in this station is dashi. So dashi is a stock that is a staple in Japanese cuisine. Usually use kombu, which is dried kelp or seaweed leaves, and bonito flakes, which are dried squid flakes. You boil them together and then it creates this, I'm salivating, it creates this beautiful broth called dashi. I don't have the time or access to those ingredients. So in my very convenient local Asian grocery store, they sell a dashi starter powder situation. It's really convenient, so I'm gonna use this. Carbonara sauce is usually just Parmigiano Reggiano, cheese, egg. Some people put cream. I don't really put cream. Salt, pepper. But I think in this case we're gonna use some of the dashi stock to thicken the sauce. We're gonna add some miso to add more flavor. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so let's make that now. So 1 egg for 1 serving of pasta. I think I also want to add ginger in this because I think the ginger will make a nice complement. Okay, you're gonna add your miso. Good amount. Cool, so when the dashi stock is ready, I'm just gonna add that in there, but I don't want to add it hot because then I'll cook the egg. So I'll add it at the end. But let's move to the stove because I think we're ready to start searing and frying and making the pasta. Cool. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is to sear the mushrooms. So go ahead and set it on medium-high. And once that's heated up, you want to add your butter in, and then you can, go ahead and add the mushrooms. Add your mushrooms. Take your mushrooms out so that you can start making your onion mixture, and then you can add the mushrooms in later. So with more oil, add your garlic in. I'm gonna sweat them out. I'm gonna get them translucent and brown and nice. Also, I can't find my bottle opener, and that's a new bottle of wine, so I won't be using that today. I do have a bit of champagne vinegar, which will do what I want it to do, so I'm gonna add a bit of that. Okay, I'm happy with how this looks. I'm gonna add the mushrooms. Season. And that's it. So I'm gonna put this away, and then we can sear the pork now. It has to be high heat. If it's smoking, then you should be good. Ooh, look at the color. Next time, I think I will make the pork first, because everything that's on the bottom, this fond, is flavor. And so when I cook the onions on top of that, and then when I deglaze it with the wine or the vinegar, it'll be, richer and much more, the flavor will have more depth, so. Okay, so the last step is basically to make the pasta. I don't think I need to show you how to make pasta, so I'll probably skip forward to after the pasta is made. Cool. I'm using boxed pasta, by the way. I just finished cooking the pasta, so now pretty much it's just assembly. I have everything kind of laid out here. It's a little messy, but it's fine. But before that, we forgot to add the 2 things that I was waiting. Lemon juice. Push it out. Not too much, because you don't really want it to overwhelm. And add the dashi stock. You don't have to add too much at first, but because you can always add more later. The point of adding hot pasta directly in here is so you slowly thicken the egg and cheese mixture. So once it's in here, you want to mix it pretty quickly. Okay, I'm gonna add the onion and mushroom mixture. Okay, now it's time to plate. Getting my spaghetti in a little swirl. Could be better, but it's fine. So now what I want to do is start layering the pork and the mushrooms along the sides. It's kind of cute. I feel like I want to put more. I mean, when I eat this, I'm just gonna eat everything. But for presentation purposes, I'm not. So we have some seaweed. And some scallions. And I think that's done. Oh my god. It looks good and it smells really good. Okay, I'm gonna take a picture. And hopefully I remember to come back and do a taste test this time. I'll be back. Finally ready to eat. I'm very tempted to use chopsticks, but I don't think I should, so I'm gonna use the fork. This is pretty good. I can already tell what I'm gonna change about it. One, less liquid in here. Maybe more cheese as well. Because I want the sauce to be a bit thicker, and now the sauce is a bit thin. But it tastes really good. I'm really happy I added the ginger because it just makes it so much better. In my opinion, if I didn't add the ginger, it'd be a little different. Yeah, pretty solid. I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm kind of happy I followed this recipe because it did look really good online. And I guess this is my interpretation of it. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. Until next time, bye.